and welcome to another day. Okay, it's night time of Crochet and Crime. My name is Hazy Baby, and as you can tell, I am running a wee bit late today. I have been at work all day, hence the reason why I am uploading now. But I have some doozy of some crimes to tell you today. So keep a lookout if you're on TikTok, because I'll be uploading them later on tonight. And if you're on YouTube, well done. You don't even have to wait. It'll be right after this. So yeah, thank you. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I need to get 1,000 followers, subscribers, before I can start making some money and stuff. But hopefully you do like my content, and if you do, like I said, like, subscribe. I do lives as well where I'll be crocheting in my lives, but like I said, I'll see you a little bit later. Hello and welcome, and as you can see, Evie is complete. She is one giant blanket. I can't show her all on camera, but she's all together. All her bits, all her pieces are together. So we're just doing the border now, so you guys can watch me as I do the border. Try and figure this stuff out. Woo! Alrighty, so let's get this party on the road. Wow, this is gonna be bright. I'm going with bright pink after bright pink because actually that will look shocking. I'm not doing that. Okay, new color. Hold on. Alrighty, so I decided to sandwich some baby pink in there in the middle. So hopefully that will look north. Okay, so doing a stitch all the way around the border that I have done many times before, and it is a probably gonna go with the corners being a blanket stitch, the end being a blanket stitch, and then moving on to a regular stitch on the way through. So we shall see how we go, but I need to go all the way around this project one time first. Alrighty, so let's go. First cab off the rank. A motorcyclist arrested after allegedly drink driving and crashing into a bin. So good job. A motorcyclist has been arrested after allegedly drink driving and then attacking a paramedic in South Australia. So, you know, he was just all gun-ho, apparently. The 27-year-old man crashed into a wheelie bin. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to laugh too hard, but it's pretty funny. After leaving a pub in Henley Beach Road in Adelaide just after 10 p.m. on Wednesday. So good job, buddy. Good job, pal. Actually, no, double crochet into there, up through there, do that, and then do this. Yay, good idea. The man fled the scene but was arrested close by. You know, he didn't get far, in other words. My boy didn't get far. He was taken to the Royal Adelaide Hospital by South Australian Ambulance Service, where he was treated for where he was treated but failed to submit a breath test, driving without care, riding an unregistered, uninsured vehicle, and assaulting an emergency worker. Okay, so that part's not funny. Don't go assaulting emergency workers. Don't go drink driving. Just don't be a douche, okay? I know it's hard. I know it's really, really difficult for some of y'all, but seriously, stop being a douche canoe. His bike has been impounded for 28 days and he lost his license for 12 months. Good. I hope he doesn't drive or ride again. He will appear in court today, but did not apply for bail. That's probably because he went home and his wife or his mother or whoever he lives with is 28, so probably a partner, but I highly doubt it. His blood test results came back as 0.250. So just so you know, just FYI, that's 5 times the limit. Brother, at this point, I'm surprised you could ride the bike, let alone, you should have just, you know what, shoulda, coulda, wouldas, but didn't. Not a bright crayon. Clearly not a bright crayon. Alright, let's move on. Alrighty now, I'm talking about Michelle Bright's accused murderer, and he lied in a confession. is what the court told. So a man's confession about a 1999 murder of a teenager, Michelle Bright, in rural New South Wales, were more lies made after police... Apparently, he reckons that he was tricked by the police. That's what he told the jury. Basically, he said, look, you know, the coppers, they tricked me. I'm not a bright crayon. I don't know, that's my favourite saying tonight. I'm not a bright crayon, so, you know, they just said, you did it, didn't you, Barry? And I said, yeah, it was me. I did it. It caught me out. My name's Barry now, apparently. And I did it. Yes, so let us read on. So lawyers of Craig Henry Rumsby have argued that although he claimed he killed the 17-year-old girl in the early hours of February 27th, 1999, these were false statements that he made after after the police rused him. It was a ruse, guys. The police rused him. How could they? How dare they? Anyway, so that's what he's alleging. It was a trick, apparently, designed to extract an admission from Craig. His barrister, Nicholas Broadbent, told the New South Wales Supreme Court jury today. So he was all like, oi, listen to me. I'm telling you. All right? Barry didn't do no wrong. The police, they done did tricked him. It was a ruse by the police. So, I mean, he probably did do it. So Broadbent said that it was not a clear-cut case of guilt and asked for jurors to use their common sense. That's funny. So my grandmother always said that while common sense may be sensical, it is rarely common. And I think that this is going to be one of those cases. He's asking them to work out why someone would lie like this. Because, you know, why would they? So, why would they make it up? Why would they go along with the suggestion after, you know, all these things have happened? So, we know that people lie for a lot of reasons. So, they lie for fear, interest, ambition. They might lie because they think there's something in it for them. But you think lying about, you know, killing someone is a bit of a stretch for my imagination. So Bright was last seen after leaving a friend's birthday party in Geelong on February 27th in 1998. Her body was found 3 days later, hidden in long grass on the roadside. Her blouse had been pushed up. The clasps on her bra were ripped off, and her jeans and underwear were around her ankles. So I think it's safe to say that was not a pleasant death. Not that any deaths are pleasant, but, you know, it wasn't pleasant. Definitely not a nice way to die. Rumsey has also been charged with an assault of another 18-year-old woman after she left a New South Wales New Year's Eve party on January 1st, 1998. So he alleged to have choked her with the intent of raping her, and he pled not guilty to both charges. So I think this smells a little bit like bullshit there, Jeffrey. I know I've changed his name 3 times, but you guys, keep up. I know you guys are smart. I know all my followers are super smart. I know you guys are. All 70 of you. I think it's safe to say, since there are so few of you, you're clearly the smartest of the bunch. Like I said, he pled not guilty. So during the investigation by police in 1999, Rumsey was interviewed on numerous occasions and volunteered to give DNA samples. He was not arrested until 2020. One thing is clear, though. There is no physical evidence, unfortunately. There is no smoking gun. It is not CSI. There is no DNA. Linking Craig Ramsey to the scene of Michelle and where she was found, Bobent said. So that is how he is going on these grounds of, this is his excuse. Because his alleged confession did not match the evidence from the scene, so he just made some shit up, basically. He was just sitting there, in the police station and obviously just made some shit up. So maybe he didn't do it. Anyway, this is why a jury has to figure this shit out and not me. I'm glad it's not me this time because it's going to be so difficult to figure out. So giving evidence to the court, alleged the assault victim, who could not be identified, said she was standing outside her home after 3 a.m. on New Year's Day waiting for a cannabis dealer to arrive. She noticed a grubby-looking man with no shoes emerge from the shadows. From the shadows he did come and approach her. He hit me, punched me in the side of the face, then he grabbed me by my throat, and then he pushed me to the ground, she said, by video link. Once she was lying down, the man got on top of her and continued to punch her about her head while placing heavy pressure on her throat until she passed out. After she yelled out for help, he allegedly told her to shut up or he'd kill her. And then the prosecutor asked, what were you thinking at this stage? I don't know. She was thinking, shit, I'm gonna fucking die. This is such bullshit. And all I wanted was a little bit of Mary Jane. Jeebus. A stupid fucking question. Just how grotty he was and how black his teeth were, I don't know. It was just horrible, the woman said. Yeah, your mind does go to strange things. It would have been like, ew, his teeth are gross. Brains are funny. Although police located Ramsey nearby, the woman did not press any charges and redacted her statement made at the time. She didn't want to go to court and have herself discredited by the jurors, which is fair because they would have judged her for wanting a little bit of pot to calm down. How dare she? Therefore, she deserves to be hurt. I am saying this very sardonically, just so you know. That was very sardonic. I did not mean that at all. Broadbent suggested the woman never mention her alleged injuries or details, such as a man placing his groin against hers when she first spoke to police in January 1999. Instead, these claims were only found in a statement by the police 2 decades later in September of 2019. So she remembered this stuff after the fact. She was upset. It's not her job to, bring the proof. It's your job. That's your job to prove he didn't do it. It's not her job to prove he did. Anyway, can I suggest that there was no attempt to choke you whatsoever, is what he said to her. Do you agree or disagree? The barrister asked. She said, I disagree. And the trial continues. Dun, 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 dun. But in all seriousness, how bullshit is that? Why is she being questioned like she might have made that shit up? Like, fuck me. Anyway, I'm swearing a lot tonight. You're welcome. You're welcome. Look, I have a vast vocabulary. I just choose to use the word regularly. Because why not? Ugh, my blanket's starting to be a bit heavy. It's so heavy. It's so heavy. Oof, I've got to tuck it up and under and over and round about. Alrighty. Alright, so I have another case of domestic violence, and I have spoken about this case previously, so please go watch my other videos if you would like to know the background of it. But I have an update on the Meyer case. So he says that fake text messages have framed him for domestic violence. So Salim Meyer was framed, he reckons, by a woman suffering from psychosis and schizophrenia when she accused him of domestic violence. That's what he told the police. So Meyer accused the woman of sending fake text messages from his phone to concrete the assault allegations as a result of the delusions that she had experienced. In recording a police interview played in the court on Thursday, the 36-year-old Auburn deputy mayor is defending himself against 7 domestic violence charges in the New South Wales District Court. So he's trying to say that it was just lies, sprinkled with lies. Mayer is being accused of punching the woman in the head 10 times in the car, squeezing her hand so hard it cracked her phone screen, and covering the woman's mouth and nose with his hand, stopping her from breathing until she passed out. These are separate incidences that happened over multiple years, the victim is claiming. So while being interviewed in Silverwater Jail in January 2021, Mayer told Senior Constable James McGowan, the woman who he said was diagnosed with psychosis and schizophrenia and suffering from PTSD, all of mine, was fascinated with blood and had a bad habit of lying. I doubt it. I very much doubt it. Usually those combinations of things means that we have a disdain for liars, not the opposite. So Mayer, who is representing himself and therefore has a fool for a client in the trial, remained perfectly still throughout, staring down the recordings and down the camera in the interview that was being played for the jury. So he's quite confident in himself, obviously. I don't want to put her through cross-examination, but you will need to see in the next few months that she's misleading, is what he told police. He was asked to read out loud the text messages sent between the woman and himself on the day that he allegedly threw a large object at her, leaving her arm with visible bruising and stopping her breathing until she passed out. I have to be honest with you, when you were threatening me the other night, I was terrified and so many things were going through my head, she wrote. He wrote, yeah, sorry. Followed by a bunch of love heart emojis. Mayer denied sending the messages, telling McGowan the woman had set him up as part of her plan of attack. Every time I went into the shower, she would access my phone and do ridiculous things, he said. So she would go through my phone and I never thought anything of it until the time in which she accused me, and now it all adds up. The trial is still continuing, so hopefully I will still have updates for you guys as that happens. But remember that if you need help in any way, please ring Lifeline on 13 11 14 or Beyond Blue on 1300 22 4635. Also, that national hotline that I keep giving you guys on repeat. I know I keep saying it, but it's okay. I'm allowed to. Please ring 1-800-RESPECT. So it's 1-800-737-732 if you're in a domestic violence situation or you know someone who is. If you're in immediate danger, do the obvious thing. Call 000. That is what the number is for. Alrighty, and if you don't have a home phone and you can't get through on your mobile, call 112. That's it. Alrighty, I'm going to move on. Okay, so this next story also is about the same thing that I was talking about yesterday, and I got up on my little high horse, and I do read all the comments, and a couple of you said, you stay on that high horse, and I'm like, I will, I love this high horse. But I will get to the point. Anyway, so I will give the caveat or the trigger warning that this story regards sexual assault. Actually, it regards the rape of patients by a doctor. So please be warned that that's what I'm going to be talking about. And so if that's something that you not interested in or something that you are concerned about reading, then please just, mute me for this bit and all that jazz. But anyway, so a doctor has been jailed because he raped his patients during examinations. Well, that's what he's been accused of doing. So, a woman saw her doctor with abdominal pain shortly after giving birth, and she was told that she needed to have an immediate pap smear. And, being concerned, she agreed to a pap smear. He took her into the examination room and proceeded to rape her. Ah, that's so sad. That's nice, he told her as he did so. So in late 2018, Shameful Milky, which I'm going to call Shameful Asshat, that's what I'm calling him, that's his new name, did the same thing to another woman who had booked in for a cervical check. So apparently his version of a cervical check was to rape them. Nice. Ugh, it made me sick. Anyway, it wasn't the first time that the Geelong doctor had sexually offended against a patient, apparently, according to this news article. 6 years earlier, a patient made a formal complaint about Milky to his employers at Ocean Grove Peninsula Family Medical Practice and National Health Regulator. She saw Milky for a sprained ankle, so nowhere near her lady parts, apparently. And he sexually assaulted her under the guise of demonstrating a breast examination. This is the reason why I see a female doctor for my breast examinations. It was clear that he was demonstrating wasn't the correct technique, according to the woman who had just undergone an examination with a practiced nurse. So he then put his hands down her pants, claiming that he needed to check her femoral pulse, which is absolute bullshit. The practice manager appeared to accept Milky's denials of the woman's claims and so she reported them to the Australian Health Practitioners Regulation Agency. But there was no need to investigate. Apparently, they decided there was no need to investigate. The regulator took it no further. They took it no further. She made allegations and they took it no further. Nice to be ignored. What gems of people they are. One last one in here. Turning the corner. Sorry, I just need to reorganize myself because I am a bit close. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, and then 1, 2, 3. Excuse me for one moment as I readjust myself. This is the thing about having a blanket this big. It is a very big turning point. And it weighs a lot, so I've got to put it on my lap. It's coming back close again. Human again, simply human again. Will be knickknacks and whatnots no more. Human again. Okay, anyway, so a jury found Milky guilty on the 15th of March, charging him with 15 charges, including rape, indecent assault, and sexual assault involving 6 women between 2012 and 2019. So the county court judge Felicity Hampel questioned if his later victims would have been spared if the commission had taken her seriously when she had rang. Another victim who saw the GP for back and sciatica pain was given an unnecessary breast examination by Milky, who had removed her bra himself. Nice. What a lovely gentleman. Just what a lovely gentleman. Anyway, the women described his touching as like a patting a dog and said that it was no attempt to look for hardened lumps, more like caressing. When she reminded Milky that she was there for left-hand side back and sciatica pain, he bent her right leg and cradled it against him while looking at her face, massaging her inner thigh and groin. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am not making this shit up. This is real and disgusting. Milky's final victim was targeted when he was working after-hour shifts at the National Home Doctor Service. Oh my God, you can tell where this is going. Nowhere nice. This is going nowhere nice. Oof. Okay. Hold on, I just need to swallow my own vomit for a minute. Just give me a second. 1, 2. Sorry. This is a different end. 3. Into there. And then Nope. Aha, I see what I've done. Alrighty, sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 of the big ones. 1, 2, 3. Okay, where was I? Yeah, after hours clinic, a home service clinic, which is, you can tell where this is going, somewhere absolutely tragic. He sexually assaulted her and tried to kiss the woman after she called the service for a consultation on a cold and flu symptoms and some muscle soreness. She immediately reported Milky to the police. I am so glad she did. And that is when the investigation began. But it was nearly 2 years before he was charged. So how disgusting is that it took them so long to actually charge him? He was stood down by the AHPRA in 2020. And Judge Hamble said that Milky's victims were left feeling powerless and unable to stop or control Milky, and left to feel ashamed of not being able to speak up earlier and preventing his assaults of other women, which is so unfair to place that on them. I mean, freaking A-hat. What an A-hat, guys. What an A-hat. Anyway, let us move on and read the rest. He took advantage of his authority as a doctor and offending under the pretense of medical appropriateness, which is totally not okay, and gave intimate examinations to sexually abuse women for his own sexual gratification. 100% agree. She said that Milky claimed during his trial that the women had made up or imagined their assaults. Bangladesh-born Milky is expected to be deported to New Zealand after serving his sentence. He must be a New Zealand citizen. I don't know why he would go to New Zealand if he was born in Bangladesh, but okay. And she ordered Milky to serve at very least, 11 years behind bars. So I feel like he should have got more, just saying. 11 years is not enough. But that's just my personal opinion, because I feel that people who have a higher authority and a higher position should be held more accountable than those I was going to say your regular run-of-the-mill rapist. Anyway, but still, you get my point. You get what I'm trying to say here. You're picking up what I'm putting down. Anyway, that's enough about that one. Let us move right along here. Sorry about this. As you can see, I am trying to make it look pretty. I'm trying to make it look pretty, guys. Alrighty. I'm not sure if you guys know who Grace Tame is, but Grace Tame was an Australian of the Year. And she was sexually abused by somebody. I'm not going to say his name. Actually, I will. His name is Nicholas Bester, and he's 70 years old. But he recently suffered from a medical issue. So I'm happy to report that he got his comeuppance, or he's getting them, which is good. So the man who sexually abused former Australian of the Year, Grace Tame, as a child, has had a court case into allegations he harassed her online, have been delayed due to medical issues. So unfortunately, he's not getting the justice, but he is in pain. So I'm happy with that. So Nicholas Otler Bester, 70 years old, is accused of making public posts on social media platform Twitter in relation to and directed at Tame between April and August of last year. He previously pled not guilty to 3 counts of using a carriage service to menace, harass, or cause offence. So as you can see, He is a prick as well as an abuser. Nice. He is a double whammy, guys. What a keeper. What a keeper. Anywho, let us move on from this jerk muffin and talk more about him, shall we? Any more of that? So on Thursday, he appeared at the Hobart Magistrates Court where a type of preliminary hearing was expected to occur. His lawyer, Todd Kovic, told the court the barrister had recently suffered a medical episode and was unable to give proper instructions. His fitness is now an issue. The lawyer did not provide any details to the court about his medical issue, and I really hope it had something related to his penis. I hope his penis fell off. It's not going to happen, but I hope it did. I hope it fell off. Yeah. Anyway, now that I've gone off on that tangent, Tame was presented in the court alongside her partner, and her partner, Max, with other supporters. So, former teacher, he was convicted in 2011 and sentenced to 2 years and 10 months jail for abusing Tame when she was a student at his school. So he's already served his time for that abuse. This is about him harassing her on the internet after she became Australian of the Year. So what a twat muffin. She was the 2021 Australian of the Year and has advocated for the survivors of abuse. So he took that as his platform to have his say, apparently. And now he is being convicted of using a social media platform to abuse and harass. So I hope he gets time for that. That would be good. So she was instrumental in her campaign in 2020, and law changes in her name in the state of Tasmania allowed survivors to publicly tell their stories. Finally, no longer being silenced, they had the ability to talk. It is good that she was able to change the law so that they were able to speak about their abuse publicly, which is nice. It is good to be heard. So if you know anyone or you are needing help, please ring 1-800-RESPECT. I know I say this a lot, but please do. It is there for a reason. It is a free service. Ring it, use it, utilize it. It's 1-800-737-732. Okay. Alrighty, let's move on to our next story, shall we? Oh, okie dokie, artichokey. These stories are hard and heavy tonight, but I knew they would be. I said that they were going to be. I just knew it. I felt it in my bones. I thought today is a day for some hard-hitting, horrible news. Let us read it, apparently. So a mum pleads guilty over manslaughter of her child who died in a hot car. Look, guys, I don't know how many times I have to say this, and I'll say it until I'm blue in the face, and I'll say it a million times over. Do not leave children or animals unattended in a vehicle. It's not hard. And I know sometimes you get tired, and I know sometimes you forget, and yada, yada, yada. But really, my children are the most important things to me in the entire world. And so are my animals. And so I just don't understand how you can leave a child in a car, even if they're napping, even if whatever. It's just, they will die. It will kill them because it is so goddamn hot everywhere here in Australia, and your child will die. They will die. Anyway, the mother of a toddler who died after being left in a hot car in 2020 in North Queensland. Oh my God, that's up here. So North Queensland is even worse. North Queensland's so hot. Has pled guilty to manslaughter. So Laura Rose Peverils formally pled guilty to the death of her daughter at an arraignment in the Townsville Supreme Court on Thursday. So Riley Rose Black, 3, died after being in a car parked outside a Townsville home in soaring temperatures of November 2020. I remember this on the news. The toddler was taken to Townsville Hospital by her partner, Aaron Hill, but she did not survive. She will return to court on October 18th to be sentenced, while Hill is also charged with manslaughter has yet to enter a plea. So, if I remember correctly, the storyline that I watched on the news when it happened was she took her other children to school or something, and she went inside because her daughter was asleep in the car, and then thought her daughter would be okay or something, and then fell asleep. And then when she went out to her car, her daughter was in great distress. They rushed her to the hospital, and she died at the hospital due to heat exhaustion. So, for the love of fucking God, bring your kids inside. It's not hard. I'm sorry. I tried to, be understanding then, and I just can't. I really can't. I mean, she's already paying the ultimate price. The ultimate price is that she has to live with her decision for the rest of her life. So I don't think jail time's going to be helpful in any way, because I really don't think there was any intent on hurting her child, and I honestly believe that for the rest of her days she will hate herself. And so, yeah. Just bring your kids inside. Don't leave them in the car. Damn it. Another little quick one today. A man has been refused bail after he allegedly assaulted 2 women on Goulburn Street. So, let us continue. Here we go. So, a man has been refused bail after he allegedly sexually and physically assaulted 2 young women who were walking on a street in Goulburn, southwest of Sydney earlier this month. Not Goulburn Street, a street in Goulburn. I knew that sounded wrong. So Nathan Raymond Cowdell, which I'm going to call Coward, Raymond Coward, 41, was extradited from Western Australia. So this is an update on that story that I was telling you guys. I think it was yesterday, or maybe it was the day before. As police investigated the report assault of 2 teenagers in Goulburn earlier in April. And oh my God, this man is a beast. He is humongous. Sorry, there's a picture of him, and he's got his head slumped, and he's the same height as the police officers with his head slumped. He's ginormous. Ginormous man. Anyway, so he was accused of attacking 19-year-old woman, groping her and choking her before stealing her phone and her clothing, including her bra and underpants, at 11 p.m. on Brook Street on April 14th, according to the court documents, as seen by the AAP. And Detective Superintendent Jane Doherty said police will allege in court that Cowdell inflicted actual bodily harm with the intent to have sexual intercourse with the woman, is their claims. So, yeah. Police will further allege that the woman gained consciousness and ran from the scene to a nearby house to get help. She was picked up by a passing motor vehicle and brought here to the Goulburn police station, apparently. He alleges, so the police allege that he is linked to another assault where an 18-year-old woman was punched in the face numerous times, knocking her to the ground at Bradshaw Drive. Hold on, give me a second, guys. I just remembered that this one is the one where I need to do 1. And then I think it was 3. So 1. And then, whoopsie daisies, 2 and 3, and then another one here. Yes, that was it. Brilliant. Anyway, so he was linked to another assault where an 18-year-old girl was punched in the face numerous times, knocking her to the ground on Bradshaw Drive in Goulburn a week and a half before, on the 5th of April. The police will allege he continued to assault the woman when she managed to get to her feet and run from the scene. Coward allegedly stole her bank card, driver's license, phone and jacket after attacking her on April 5th. Both women required hospital treatment for their facial injuries. Appeals brought further information from the community, and special police assistance and investigation secured a warrant to search Coward's home on the weekend, and New South Wales Police Sex Crime Squad Commander Detective Superintendent Jane Doherty told media in Goulburn on Thursday afternoon. Coward was arrested in Fremantle Hotel on Sunday night, and New South Wales detectives were granted the extradition on Wednesday, which is when I was talking about it with you guys about it. He's the punchy girls in the facey. He's not a very nice guy. Anyway, so he has been charged with aggravated robbery, inflicting actual bodily harm with the intent to have sexual intercourse, sexually touching without consent, stalking and humiliation, and choking. So Coward did not appear when his case was briefly mentioned at the Sydney Downing Centre local court on Thursday, today, and a lawyer representing him applied for the case to be moved to Goulburn, where the alleged offences occurred, and Coward has a private solicitor to represent him. The magistrate, Greg Gorin, adjourned the case to Goulburn on May 3rd and ordered a brief of evidence to be served by June 22nd. In other words, to gather all the information that they needed to gather for a trial by June 22nd. And I like that I named him Coward, and hopefully I remember that I named him Coward next time I talk about this coward. Did I mention he's a coward? Okay, let's move on. Okay, another one involving children. So like I said, I apologize in advance if you are not into this kind of crime reporting. Then please just put me on mute or fast forward through this part. I actually believe that we should be the voice for the voiceless, and so therefore I will tell their stories. So, 3 parents have been charged over the death of a South Australian children face court. So 3 parents are facing court after being charged over the deaths of their own children in South Australia. So Shane faced, I'm not even going to call him by his last name because it's too difficult, faced the Adelaide Magistrates Court on Thursday over his 7-year-old son, Mackay's alleged manslaughter. The 50-year-old man didn't apply for bail and appeared unable to keep his eyes open throughout most of the hearing. Okay. He will return to court next week, where he is expected to make a bail application. One of the other parents, Jenny Wilmot, will also be facing court today, charged with manslaughter over her adopted daughter Jasmine's death in 2018. Wilmot was charged with criminal neglect in 2020, but the charges were dropped in 2021. She was arrested again yesterday after police gathered new evidence, and Crystal Hanley, the mother of Charlie Nowland, that's the one I was talking about the other day, faced court yesterday and was granted bail just to her home address. She's under house arrest. The 47-year-old was charged with the manslaughter in relation to her daughter Charlie's death and the criminal neglect of 4 of her other children, aged between 8 and 14, living in the same home, although they don't live there now. They have been taken. Her charges were described by the magistrate as extraordinarily serious. She faces strict bail conditions that she can only see her other children within earshot and under the supervision of DCP, which is Department of Child Protection, staff at all times. Henley will return to court in August. The 3 arrests come after a task force was established in July last year to investigate Charlie's death and the subsequent death of Mackay, who was the first child, if you remember. None of the cases are linked, and nor are the victims connected. It's just that they all happen to be children. So the Assistant Commissioner John Vendito, what a cool name, said yesterday it is unprecedented to charge 3 adults in a day with the death of a child in South Australia. So it's been pretty awesome, and I think that's pretty awesome too. The facts and the circumstances that give rise to the charge of manslaughter are different in each case, he said. What is the same is the adult charged with manslaughter owed a duty of care to the child at the time. Manslaughter or criminal neglect convictions can vary in sentencing, but they can carry a life sentence, and I really hope they all get it. Last year, 2 reviews into the state child protection system was launched to investigate how the syndicate failings may have contributed to the deaths of Charlie and Mackay, being in that they had been reported to the Department of Family Services and no one had done anything about it. So that's what they're alleging, and so that's what they're investigating currently. So former police commissioner Mai Hyde found that there were 500 South Australian children who could be living in danger, and the criminal law did not have enough power to prosecute the parents. There were an estimated 31 recommendations made, and the government agreed to adopt them all. So how awesome is that? That the change is coming. The squeaky wheel has worked, people. The squeaky wheel has worked. And people are coming, and there's gonna be some changes. So instead of winter is coming, changes are coming. Alrighty. This next one is actually a domestic violence of a man. So the man has been domestically violated and not the female. So I just wanted to say one of these stories because it's not always women, and I don't want people to think that it is. The perpetrators are always men. They're not always men. So a woman is sentenced to life behind bars for a Gold Coast stabbing murder. So a young Gold Coast woman has been sentenced to life in prison for a senseless murder of a law graduate in Surfers Paradise. So Freedom Mona Mosley Anderson, oh my god, too many names, 23, was found guilty of her name is Freedom, that's terrible, was found guilty of the fatal stabbing after a jury trial. So the court heard she had a knife in her backpack when she and an acquaintance met Nicholas Brad, 35, outside of a beachcombers resort in Surfers Paradise, Surfers Paradise, in April 2020, and CCTV footage played to the court showed that Anderson strike at Brad before he collapsed to the ground, and then she fled like a coward. She went, I'm going to get my freedom, my namesake. Okay, that sounds horrible, Hayley, stop doing that. So Brad had suffered from a 13 centimetre deep laceration or knife wound and died shortly after. The court heard that Anderson told an undercover police officer following her arrest that she usually didn't carry a knife and preferred to use her fists. She is one violent cookie, and I am glad she has been sentenced to life behind bars. Oh, so horrible. So Anderson has been angry and felt that Brad was lying to her about his name. Apparently, that's the reason she stabbed him. That is such a petty grievance, and according to the Crown Prosecutor, he thinks so too. The court heard that Anderson moved to Australia on a temporary visa from New Zealand when she was a child. Her defense argued she had a troubled childhood, which is so not a reason to stab anybody, and was using drugs from the time that she was 13. Oh, boo-hoo. Here's a tiny violin. You chose to use drugs. A New Zealand woman has been sentenced to life in prison by the Brisbane Supreme Court. That's pretty much it. And Anderson had pled guilty to manslaughter, which her lawyers said indicated she accepted responsibility for killing Brad. Brad's devastated parents, no doubt, gave victim impact statements to the court describing his all-encompassing grin. And I can tell you, I've seen a picture of him. It was all-encompassing. It was one hell of a grin. I liked it. It's hard not to lose hope when you lose a child, his mother said, obviously. She has recently been diagnosed with terminal cancer, but she told the court her son's loss was far more shattering. You know, terminal cancer might be a little bit of an easier thing to digest, knowing that going to your son, at least. I mean, depends what your belief system is, but I believe that we all get to reunite with our loved ones once we've died. But yeah, that's so horrible. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Mama. I'm so sorry. Outside court, Abigail Brad thanked the witness and the police for giving her brother a voice. It goes without saying that we will always be devastated, she said. Nick was very intelligent, he was full of life, and he had so much potential. And I agree. He sure did. And this twat muffin frickin' druggo decided to take his life. So, what a gem, guys. What a gem. Okay, hold on. I just need to pop that in there. Through there. Done. Alrighty, moving on from a female perpetrator to a male perpetrator. I know you guys are like, yeah, we know, Hayley, we know. I know that you know that I know that you know. Alright? But I do like talking about this stuff, so it's very important and imperative that we voice these things. They have to be heard, guys. They have to be heard. And plus, it keeps me entertained while I crochet. Anyway, so a man has been jailed for hunting a girl. Yes, you heard that correctly. Hunting a girl in a store with a bow and arrow. Yup. Here in Australia. Wow. So, armed with a compound bow, Benjamin Jeremy Burke hunted a 15-year-old girl in a supermarket like an animal. So, pleading for help, the girl ran around the Aldi store in the southwest of Brisbane, with Burke shooting arrows in pursuit. One arrow pierced her upper torso after going through her hand and phone case that she was holding to protect herself. Oh my goodness, what a psychopath. Seriously. Sociopath even. The CCTV footage on in September of 2020, during the attack, showed in the Brisbane Supreme Court today panicked shoppers as they were fleeing the scene. Way to help her, guys. Trying to escape the store where Burke was stalking this girl. After a Good Samaritan shielded the 15-year-old, Burke closed in with a sledgehammer before being tackled by a customer. Yay! See, here I was shaming all these people for running away, and these two Good Samaritans, they took him down. They knocked him out. Burke targeted the girl after hatching a plan to kill himself following the argument with a housemate. He decided the way to achieve his goal was to be killed by the police. So in order to provoke the police into a violent standoff, he decided to take a life, is what he told his lawyer and the police. That's what he said. He decided, fuck it, I'm going to take a life. That way the police will have to shoot me. You know, just kill yourself. It'll only take a minute. Just find your oven and put your head in it. Bo Burnham. Gotta love it. Also, I'm not being serious. No one should unalive themselves. So, he armed himself with a bow and arrow, and like 5 arrows, because, need spares, and 3 sledgehammers, yes, not 1, not 2, but 3 sledgehammers, and 2 knives. and he put a mask on and went out looking for someone to kill. He just picked a random person, guys. Walking down the street, he shot an arrow at a woman jogging, but, like, he missed because he's a shit shot, apparently. And he decided to target another woman with a baby before he noticed the 15-year-old outside of the Aldi store, taking off his mask as he approached her. Okay. "I'll let you see who I am first," he said, before shooting an arrow at the girl, who then retreated into the shop. Oh my god, my daughter is 15. This is absolutely terrifying. It just suddenly hit me how young that is. She's just a baby. Why you do this? She didn't even do anything to you, fucking crazy person. So CCTV footage shows the girl running around the aisles, begging customers to help her and trying to hide as Burke shoots arrows into the supermarket. At one stage, narrowly missing other shoppers. She was hunted like an animal around the store for about 4 minutes, someone said. And a female shopper eventually shielded the girl when Burke approached with a sledgehammer after running out of arrows, and he asked the sobbing girl to return the arrow that was later surgically removed from her hand. What a dick. Saying that they were expensive before being tackled and detained by 2 customers. His cheese had well and truly slid off his cracker. Like, he was now a crackerless cheese or a cheeseless cracker. But either way, I like cheeseless cracker better. He has some serious mental health issues, and or I just think he's just an absolute sociopath. Like, seriously. Anyway, the girl was in court with her parents today and silently sat through the CCTV footage. I can't believe they made her watch that. What? Twat muffins. Talk about re-traumatizing. Jesus. As he held his hands to his head. Well done. The court heard the girl's social and family life have been impacted since the attack, and she remained hypervigilant and superstitious of everyone in public. Look, and as a person who is already like that, I can guarantee that will not go away. Not without some serious mental health help. And even then, you're still super hypervigilant. I mean, I see some stuff and I have no idea. I'm like, do you guys not see this? And they're like, hey, no, Haley, we don't see this because guess what? We're not being so hypervigilant that we could throw up. But yes, you guys are learning so much about me. Just go through my videos and watch them all and you'll see all about me. Let's talk more about me. That's enough about me. Let's talk about Hazy. All right, so Burke has shown no remorse. A psychiatric report said that Burke has developed a primitive and immature personality, that he is angry at the world and felt injustice for his own antisocial behaviour. Okay, so he's blaming everybody else. Oh, what a narcissist. Burke's drug use, that's what he tried to blame, and he was diagnosed with autism, which is also... I know very many autistic people, and none of them are violent, so nice try. Which is not an excuse either, and a personality disorder, which also, yours truly has one, and I'm telling you, I'm not thinking about freaking doing anything to hurt anyone. So, whatever. Also not an excuse. He had not experienced psychosis during his attack, and I agree. I don't think that was a psychosis. That was just him being pure ragey moron. So Burke, you want to guess his age? 28. Pled guilty to attempted murder and was sentenced to 10.5 years in prison by Justice Tom Sullivan with a serious violent offender declaration against him. Burke must serve 80% of his sentence before being eligible for parole, and I hope that when he is paroled, it's under some very, very strict conditions, like some serious psychiatric help and some, like, never being allowed to own even a frickin' hammer. So, let's hope. One can only hope. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of my crime today. well, not my crime, I'm not committing the crime, but that's the end of my crime channel today, my crime and crochet. This is the last side of this, and probably the last video in which you are going to see Evie in all of her glory, because she only needs a couple more rounds of a border, and then she will be going to her brand new forever home. Well, once I sew the ends in and all that jazz. She'll be going to her forever home where she will be loved, and I will be working on my very next project, which has already been commissioned by my wonderful mother, who's been begging me for a blanket forever. And I have made her one in the past, but she wants another one. So she will be my next commissioned piece, and it will be all in purples, and it will be beautiful. And I haven't given her a name yet because I haven't decided what her name will be. But when I do decide, you will know, because you'll be watching this channel and you will find out. So I thank you very much for watching me make this pink monstrosity, and I will move on to purples and blues. Just don't tell my mum, because I don't think she wants blues in it, but I'm going to put blues in it anyway because that's what I want. And I'm the artist, so I can do what I want. But if you would like to be the person after my mum's blanket, because as you can see, it takes me about 2 weeks to whip one up, let me know in the comments, and I will get to you and tell you how you can order one. I have decided I am going to do a competition as well. Just right now, I've decided that I'm going to do a competition for my followers. So for the first 1,000 subscribers, I will be making a blanket. It will be my crochet along blanket, who I have named Raymond. And I will be putting all of your names into a generator. So the first 1,000 followers, and whoever wins will win that blanket. All you have to do, like I said, is like, subscribe, and write done in the comments so that I can find your name and I can add you to my list. So if you would like to get in on that competition and you've already subscribed, just write the word done underneath, and I will I'll add you to that list. I just want to make sure that people who are subscribing to my channel are actually watching my channel. So like I said, if that's you, write the word done, and then you and me can meant to be. By the time I finish Raymond, hopefully I'll have 1,000 followers, and we will see one lucky winner will win the Raymond blanket. So if you don't know what blanket that is, head on over to my TikTok and have a look at the crochet along. They are, because he or they is a lovely brown, gold, and like natural colors. So head on over, have a quick gander at it, and yeah, see what you could win potentially. Alrighty. Thank you very much, like I said, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I love you. Tomorrow, it's only a night away. That was terribly out of tune. You're welcome. Anytime. Alright, seriously, I need to go. But I'm on a roll. Honestly, I only have this much left to do to the corner. So, say bye, Evie. Bye.